Many guitarists default to bar chords for everything, and bar chords work, but they're carrying a lot of dead weight. 6 strings, big grip, and half those notes are just the root and the fifth doubled up. Strip those out, replace the fifth with a seventh, and you've got a shell chord. 3 notes that do more harmonic work than any bar chord you'll ever play. And once you hear how just those 3 notes make you sound like a jazz wizard, you won't look back. Today we're building 2 shell shapes directly from fretboard patterns you hopefully already know and applying them in perhaps the quintessential jazz progression. Part 1. Root 3-7. We'll begin with the movable shape that has the chord tones in order on neighboring strings. We begin on string set 4. That's E, A, and D. C is my root note, 8th fret of string 6. 2 important things from here. The octave of the root note is found 2 frets higher on string 4. We'll be needing this in a moment to locate our sevenths. The quality of the chord, major or minor, is established with the third. The major third will always be 1 fret lower on the string physically below. You'll know that if you've learned your close voicing triad shapes. This is root 3-5. From here, I'll be replacing the 5th with the 7th. Why replace the 5th? Well, it doesn't tell you if the chord is major or minor, nor does it create tension or resolution. It just fills space. The 7th, on the other hand, carries all the harmonic color. But how do you locate the 7th? 2 options. 1, it's 1 fret below a root note. Major scale formula always has that 1 fret half step 7 to root. You'll always have a major 7th in the fret below any root note. 2, we can walk up from the 5th. A whole step up is the major 6th. We'll use this later. An additional whole step above that is the major 7th. Put those together and we have a shell chord of C major 7. This shape is commonly played rooted on string 5, but the shape is identical. And following major scale theory, I could play a 1/4 progression with 7th chords by simply moving this shape between string set 4 and 3. To get to my bluesy dominant 7th, I'll simply lower the 7 a half step to a flat 7. Immediately, there's tension in this chord that wants to be resolved. That tension is coming from the tritone in the shape. I have a video lesson on that if you'd like to find out more. This shape you might recognize from the open C7 chord. The shell voicing is again identical when rooted on string 5. The C7 is the 5 chord of F major, so it wants to resolve to F or F major 7. From here, you'll flatten the 3 to a minor third. Root, flat 3, flat 7 is the shell voicing of a minor 7th chord. It also doubles as the half diminished 7th, aka the minor 7 flat 5. Again, the shape is identical when rooted on string 5. Static root exercise. Form the shape and reinforce the chord tones, the numbers. Why? Because numbers travel, notes don't. Say as you play. Root 3-7. Root 3, flat 7. Root, flat 3, flat 7. The chord tones will always be the same whichever root note you choose. Root 3-7. Root 3, flat 7. Root, flat 3, flat 7. Shell chord scale exercise. Playing through the key of C with the shell chords. We'll root the chords on string 5. Simply walk up to the next alphabet note on each string and you're creating the 7th chords in the key of C, but in their shell voicings. If you're feeling ambitious, you can do the same thing with a vertical scale pattern. Part 2, RX73. I know, it sounds like some kind of Star Wars droid, but this is the second way to play a shell chord. The X is a muted string. The arrangement of the chord tones from low to high in pitch is root 7th third. But it couldn't be easier once you've learned the first shape. From the root 3-7, we're simply going to raise the third up an octave with the 5-3 A shape octave. Here's C major 7. Finger 1 will mute string 5 and possibly string 1. The underside of finger 4 mutes string 2. Again, say the chord tones in the shape as you play. Root 7-3. From here, it's the same rules as before to form the dominant and minor 7th voicings. Flatten the 7th to flat 7 for C7. Flatten the 3rd to flat 3 for a C minor 7th. And this doubles as the C minor 7 flat 5, half diminished 7th. Now, these shapes are commonly used rooted on string 6, but here's what they would be rooted on string 5s. Static root exercise. Same as before, say the chord tones as you play, cycling through each chord type from the same root. Root 7, 3, root flat 7, 3, root flat 7, flat 3. Shell chord scale RX73. Let's repeat the same exercise, this time in the key of G, starting in the 3rd fret of string 6. Part 3, the 2-5-1. The 2-5-1 is the jazz progression and the perfect way to memorize your shell chords. In the key of C major, this would be D minor, G, C. Leveling up to 7th chords gives us D minor 7, G7, C major 7. We've got 2 ways to play the progression with the C major 7 rooted on either string 6 or string 5. Beginning with the lower C rooted on string 5, this is our destination. To get there, we go first to the D root a whole step above and form the D minor 7 shell chord. The G root will be on string 6 and we'll use the RX73 voicing. Notice we have a common note between the 2 chords, the F. The tension between the F and B note is resolved as we arrive at the C major 7 with the root 3-7 voicing. The 1 chord will get twice the time as the other 2 chords, so to add a little movement to it, we'll move it to a C major 6. Very easy to do, simply lower the 7 a whole step, finger 1 bars into both strings. 1, 2, 3, and... The second option will begin with D minor 7 rooted on string 6, and our destination is the C major 7 a whole step below. To get there, we'll pass through the G7 rooted on string 5. Again, I can turn the C major 7 into a C6 simply by lowering the 7th down a whole step. So the progression will be D minor 7, G7, C major 7, C6. Repeat until you can't get it wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's your shell chord toolkit. Worth saying, shell chords aren't just a jazz thing. You'll find them popping up across many different genres. The dominant 7th shapes are especially great for blues progressions. Give it a try. If you want a reference sheet with charts and tabs of everything we've covered today, I put it together as a handout over on Patreon. Do like the video and subscribe for more like this. Leave me a comment with your biggest takeaway from today. I'll read every one. Practice well, and I'll see you next time.